Do you wonder why you scrapbook? Why anybody scrapbooks? Today, I'm going to share a little bit of the history and some of the reasons why I scrapbook and some of the benefits to scrapbooking. Yes, there's benefits to the health. So let me tell you a little bit about some of the things that I found out in my research. The first type of scrapbooks were called the commonplace books. I'm reading off of the paper. Anyway, so Thomas Jefferson was president during 1801 and 1809. And he actually kept a scrapbook. He would carry a book with him, and he would take any article about his presidency and put it in a scrapbook. So that that 1801. Abraham Lincoln also, when he was president, 1861 until he passed in 1865, he would carry a journal around with him everywhere he went, and he would write down different things, that he wanted to remember. He would put in articles, quotes, different things and he kept his journal with him everywhere he went. Some of the types of books or types of things that they kept in this commonplace books, they would always keep like recipes. They would keep quotes. They'd keep letters from people. So I can imagine, like, if you get a letter from somebody way back when, it wasn't that you got them a lot. So those letters were kept and cherished. They kept poems and different prayers in these books. Um, the other type of things that people would keep, and almost more, it seems like what Abraham Lincoln did, was more like a journal where they keep or diaries where and they would actually keep sketches of different things in there. Um, Mark Twain, of all people, was the first person to come up with those adhesive scrapbooks. You remember he lifted the paper and the pictures just stayed inside there in 1872. And in 1821, that's when it became instead of commonplace books, it was labeled scrapbook. 1821. I mean, so the history is there. We're keeping history alive by doing that. So, um, in 1900 was when the first like brownie camera came out, and that's when photos actually changed. Before that, it was more you paid for professional photos. You got dressed up and you sat there and they took your photograph as a family or something. Not everybody was able to do that because not everybody could afford that. So, and then in like I said, in 1900s, that changed where they came out with the brownie camera and people would take just random photos. But it would be like you didn't have to get dressed up. It'd be like family dinner or Christmas or different things like that. And they would snap a photo. Those photos were very rare because you just didn't take that many pictures back then. Um, in 1960 was the first time they had a color camera. That didn't seem like that long ago. I'm just saying. Um, Another thing that I found interesting was they used to keep what's called a friendship book. And when they invited people to their home, they would invite them to sign or write in their friendship book. And then some people would put quotes, or they would just sign their name, or they would write a poem or something down, or just little something to the family. And they just the family kept it. I would love to see one of those right now. I've never seen one, not even online. I've heard of them, but I've not even seen a picture or a video of one. But that would be really cool. They used to keep also things in Bibles, and on Ancestry. I do follow genealogy, and on Ancestry they actually have some. Things in there from the Bible where this person's married, this person was born, this person passed, and that is actually they they actually kept that as a record, and Ancestry recognizes that as part of an actual record of people. So what are some of the benefits to scrapbooking? It does not always help the budget, but there's ways to get around that. So maybe I will start doing some videos and telling you how to scrapbook on a budget. That could be interesting. Anyway, um, you're documenting something special. Graduation just happened. Um, Births of babies, family get-togethers. I heard something one time, and it just like hit me that it takes two generations to be forgotten. And I'm like, oh my God. But it's true. Scrapbookers, they can look back and see a lot of different things. But, people, they can look back and see things and you tell the story. That's the biggest thing. We're passing on that story. But it also lowers anxiety. It has been proven that it helps alleviate stress. I mean, we all have a lot of stress. We all get anxiety. It's a natural thing. Your heart starts beating, you're like breathing fast, and you're like, I cannot handle this. Just go scrapbook. It's been known to help. Um, Also, we're able to meet people around the world. There are so many people. Janet Madison from RTS, Ginger from Ginger's Corner. I could sit here and list so many people. I had never met them in person, but I feel like I know them by watching their videos and stuff. So, um, by relieving stress, you're also helping your depression. So, um, one other interesting fact that I found, it also helps the dexterity of fine motor skills. So as you get older, it can help keep your fingers and stuff moving because you're working with some stuffing scissors and that kind of stuff. So it helps keep that, it helps improve all that fine motor skills. So that helps. Now, the reason I personally scrapbook, like I said, 2 generations to stop, just for people to stop. They see pictures and they may know, oh, I was told that was my grandmother or that was my great grandmother, but you don't know anything about them. So when my mother-in-law passed away, I have hardly any pictures of my family. I'm looking on Ancestry and looking for different ways to find pictures, and I'll do a video on that when I finish doing my research. But my husband's family, they had that traditional box of tons of pictures. So this is just one couple. Let me just switch cameras here. This is just one couple here. I'm going to zoom you in just a little bit. There we go. Now, this is William Lane. This is my husband's great grandparents. Now, this man, this is his baby picture. That's not something you find very often. 1889. This was in a box. In a box. He was born in 1889. And this is a picture of him. We would have never known. And we actually have a baseball, but we couldn't read the signature on it. But he used to play like the AAA type baseball, and he used to play that. So that's something that, I mean, it's hard to find. This is the wife, Wilhelmina was her name, and this is her baby picture. I mean, look at the back of this picture. And this is her as a child. Now, this is his grandmother and her dad. This is his grandmother and her mom. Now, these pictures, they weren't very common back then. So this one here, look at this. Look at this fashion. This is not something you would ever really see anywhere else. So that, that to me is, I mean, look at this hat. Look at these hats. This is Wilhelmina. This one. And then this is something else, a newspaper article that you can find with your family in there. And this is her, and this is her, because she worked at a store for years. This was out of her wallet after she passed in a car accident. And this was in her wallet. And it's actually in her writing. It's got her address and stuff on there where she lived. And then this one was before they passed. I mean, look how happy they are. I would love to know the story behind this picture, but there's nothing. So I want to do, so my grandbabies, babies or grandbabies doesn't have to wonder who that was in their picture or what their grandmother or mom was doing in that picture. Now, these are pictures, which is another reason why we scrapbook. All of these pictures in here. These people had to be significant somehow in this family's life. But we have no idea how or who. We have no idea who some of these people are. And some of the ones that we have no idea who they are and we're not sure, we're actually looking at the picture and like, okay, this baby's face is about the same, the ears about the same, this could be this person, the eyes. the shape of the face. That's how we're having to track some of these people to see kind of what, who they are. But all of these pictures I have not been able to identify yet that I hold on to because I'm still trying to figure out who they are. So scrapbooking is extremely important. And that being said, if you've made it to the end of this video, stop beating yourself up. It's not rocket science. It is not trying to solve world hunger. You're just passing on memories. You're writing down your stories that you know or that you've heard or that's been told to you or something, anything, and you're putting it on paper and you're doing a fabulous job. So be proud of yourself. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, everybody.